Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the Butterfly Effect podcast. Today, the topic is, I think it will resonate with many of you because the topic is how to cope when your life is falling apart. First thing first, I want to congratulate you. I really, from the bottom of my heart, want to congratulate you because if your life is falling apart, it means that you have a pretty unique chance, a chance to level up. Because what is the real meaning of my life is falling apart? Well, it means that you're going through crisis. That whatever was working before doesn't work anymore. That whatever had meaning before doesn't have meaning anymore. That whatever were doing before, it's not something that you can keep doing. And one of the reasons of this can be, for example, you ignore the signs. For example, you work on the job that you don't really like, and you feel that it's a little bit, killing your humanity every day you go to that office. And you feel like it kills your mood, it kills your relationship maybe with your significant other, maybe it kills your personality or your talent, or you don't really implement your potential. But you ignore all of the signs and you just keep doing up until one day you get sick, for example, and you can't go to your work anymore. And you find yourself with your life falling apart because, you're losing your job. Most of us, if we lose our job, we'll lose the only source of our income. So our life won't be, butterflies in the rainbow. But what does the crisis means from my philosophical vision of life is that you have potential to do more. You have potential to be more, and the world is showing you this. The world is pushing you to level up, to become better, to find another option, to do more, to find another perspectives, to move maybe, or to start your own business. But all of this, you can see it kind of in years, connecting the dots backwards, but in the moment it feels like your world is falling apart. It feels like your life is falling apart. You're absolutely at the bottom of the ocean. For me personally, I feel like I'm in a vacuum. I went through this period of, crisis, and I felt like I'm drowning. I remember back then I was writing my journal every day, and most of my pages I started with the sentence, I feel like I'm drowning. This feeling like it's not enough air. The anxiety is so consuming that you can't be present in the moment. You can't dream. You can't plan. You in the surviving mode. And the most important part about surviving mode is that you have to acknowledge it and you have to accept it. If you are in surviving mode, this is not a time for being creative. This is not a time of doing anything just for the art or just for the soul or just for fun or whatever. You won't create a piece of your life when you're in surviving mode, because it's a very controversial kind of positions of us as the creators and us as people with unclosed basic needs. They cannot coexist. It's really important to understand. So the topic today is basically I'll give you 4 or 5 effective steps on what to do when you feel like your life is falling apart. I would love you to look at this, to the process of crisis, from the perspective that it's good for you. Anyway, it happens for you. No matter how bad it feels, no matter how painful it is, no matter how desperate you are, it's for you. And yes, it's challenging because the life is testing you basically. Can you level up? Can you accept? Can you become better? Can you see things from different perspective? Can you use your chances and your opportunities no matter what's going on? So when your life is falling apart, step number 1, First of all, surrender. No jokes, but yeah. Step number one is basically you have to admit that your rational mind brought you nowhere, brought you to the dead end, and it doesn't have any idea what to do. What is our rational mind? It's basically when we ask ourselves, oh my God, my life is falling apart. What should I do? Should I open a business? Should I keep working on my corporate job? Or should I find another corporate job? Should I date this person or that person? Should I move to this country or that country? Should I have kids maybe? Maybe it's going to make my life any better. Should I start a new path? Should I go and volunteer in Indonesia? When we ask all of these questions, what we expect is that our rational mind will calculate the different option for us and tell, okay, so this option is the best. It will bring you to your happy life. It will bring you to success. 99%, I calculated everything, you'll be fine. It never happens. Because if you are in a crisis, if you feel like your life is falling apart, it means that your brain, your rational mind don't know what to do already. Otherwise you wouldn't be here, right? Otherwise you would live your well-polished, calculated lifestyle and you'll be fine. But no, you are in the middle of the crisis. And most of this crisis is not even connected to financial issues. This crisis is connected to the crisis of meanings, the emotional issues, the mental state issues. And with this stuff, our mind is not really helpful. The mindset change is helpful, but that's another thing. So how to admit, how to make a step number one? Well, use your rational mind. Analyze that a pool of actions that you made with your rationality, with your calculations, brought you to the place of crisis. And every time you ask yourself, what should I do? You don't really hear any exact answer. You don't really hear any response. You don't feel like you're aligned with any of the options. And you honestly have no idea what to do. You're struggling and you're trying to find the best option out of bad options or out of a state of absolute loss. So what's the point then? What's the point of keep asking question to someone who has no answer? And in this situation, our rational mind has no answer. Unfortunately or fortunately, it's not going to help. Why? Well, because a rational mind and our mind in general can create only that scenario that consists out of things that we know, that we experience. For example, imagine it like a Lego, right? You have different cubes, you have different pieces of this puzzle. So your rational mind has all the pieces and it can create like a new building, let's say, out of the pieces that already exists. But it can't create pieces that don't exist. It has no idea what kind of shape and different shapes and forms exist in this world because it never experienced it, it never saw it. So what you can create is the new scenario, but this scenario will consist out of the things that you already know. I might be a bit overcomplicating the thing, but you're trying to find solution by making actions that you know. But that's why you're in this crisis in the first place, because actions that you know is not the answer. So admitting that, okay, asking my rational mind doesn't bring me anywhere new and it doesn't bring me any solution, and I need to look for another options. Another option will be to ask for the answer from your soul, from your intuition, from your higher self. But rational mind is actually, as long as you hold to it, you will be stuck in the same place. Or you will go with the loop. Over and over again, you will keep appearing in the same place. And it's not a fun place. Step number 2, allow yourself to do nothing, but consciously. What does it mean? We are so used to participate in this rat race, to be responsible adults, keep doing things for surviving, for our families, for ourselves, for our kids. And we're kind of in this run constantly, 24/7. We have no time to do nothing. And when you're going through crisis, when your life is falling apart, you have no idea what to do. When you have no idea what to do nothing. It feels like I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say like, oh, but if I'll do nothing, I will just, lay on my couch for like 6 months or a year. I will go depressed. I will, I don't know, get fat and ugly, and I will lose everything, and I will be broke, and I will die under the bridge in the, in a shoebox. Well, most likely not. Most likely, based on my own experience, you will handle maximum 3 to 5 days of nothingness. Afterwards, well, you will do everything. Everything, but just not stay stagnant. I went through the same period a bit more than a year ago. I had no idea what to do. I had the resources, don't get me wrong. I had resources, I just lost my job, I had lots of free time and still enough money just to, enjoy the life without thinking how to provide for myself. But this thing that you have no desire to do anything is devastating. I want to live with desire. I want to be driven by motivation, by curiosity. I don't want to be driven by need. That's why I decided and I allowed myself to do nothing for as long as it takes. Which means that I was waking up in the morning, having zero plans for the day. And I was asking myself, okay, so what do I want to eat for breakfast? What do I want to do today? Do I want to go there, here or there? Do I want to do some reading, watch series? Do I want to paint? Do I want to meet some people? Do I want to look for a job? What do I want to do? It's important to start to hear your desires, because how we see it is that I have no idea what I want to do, and there's also a pool of desires that I'm not allowing myself to have. But because my rational mind is telling me that those desires doesn't make sense. Just for example, going on a hike, or laying down and reading a book, or treating myself with a nice breakfast or dinner. It's just these little things that how can it change my absolutely devastating situation? But it can. But funny enough, by allowing ourselves to listen and make these little desires that we're hearing, we start to reconnect to ourselves more, and we start to hear more and more and more. And then on some point you'll ask yourself, what job do I want to do? Oh, I feel like I want to open my own business. I feel like I'm ready. I feel motivated. I feel inspired. And all of this is because I'm connected to myself. I'm not creating this with my rational mind, but I feel and I know that I'm gonna make it. I believe in myself, and that's how it works. So enjoy your nothingness, and trust me, it's not gonna take you more than a week. Afterwards, you will do everything with the double desire. Step number 3, and it's very connected to the step number 2. So if you don't know what you want to do everything. After you spend at least a week doing nothing, then go to the say yes to everything mode, which means that life gives you opportunities. Say yes to everything. Stop being so, picky. Stop rationalize everything. Stop calculate everything, and just enjoy. Just allow yourself to say yes to everything. Your friends from high school calling you unexpectedly and invites you for a baby shower. Yes, I'm in. Some people are inviting you to the hike. Yes, I'm in. You, for example, found the advertisement of comedy improv sessions in the evening with some random people. I'm in. Why? Well, the world is leading us, the world is navigating, because we're so holding on to the control in our hands. Mostly we're fighting back with the attempts of the world to bring us to the place where we have to be. So by saying yes to everything and finally letting go the control, at least a little bit, at least temporarily, until you have no idea what you want to do, enjoy the ride and let the world lead you and bring you to the place where you have to be. Because mostly, if you ask someone, for example, a couple who's happily married and they're so lovely together and they're absolutely in love, and you'll ask, oh guys, how did you meet? And most of them will say, for example, I went to this absolutely random event of a friend of a friend of a friend, and I didn't even plan to go there, but last minute I decided, okay, I'm gonna go there. And another person will say, well, I was just passing by and I remember about this event and I decided to jump in because I had nothing else to do, nothing better to do. And they met. And what seems like so random is actually a well planned, but not by you, by the world. So say yes to everything and see what it's going to bring you. Step number 4 is mostly from a personal experience, and that's just a little tip that hopefully will help you. Allow people to enter your life, support and help you. Do not shut down from the world. Because mostly when we go through this period of crisis, we feel vulnerable, we feel weak, we might feel like we failed. First of all, we failed ourselves, our own perception of self, and we failed our dreams and plans and the picture that we created in our mind. And definitely from this position, you don't really want to show up and you don't really want to open yourself to others. But by separating yourself from the world, you go in deeper and deeper into the victim mode. And mostly you will start to attract wrong people. Trust me, because in this state we are vulnerable and we are very attractive to, for example, abusive people or to narcissistic people. So it's better to make a little bit of an effort and to keep your close circle in your life, your best friends, your relatives, your parents, your significant others, your kids. Keep them close because they want good for you. Even if you're not ready to, open yourself to them, even if you're not ready to accept their advices or their help or something, keep them close. Don't push them away because they will be your signals. If something goes absolutely wrong, they will signal you. Otherwise, you're a little bit like a blind kitty, and that's a dangerous position to be in. So keep your close people in your life, even if you don't want to. And the last one, but the most important one, step number 5. That's not something that most of the people can do. But if you can do this, trust me, you will be able to go out of this crisis super fast. Try to see what lesson you're going through. Try to see where life is pushing you. What I mean by that is that afterwards, after the crisis, most of the people are telling me it's been the most difficult period of my life, but gosh, I changed so much. I learned so much. I made this and this and this and that change, and I'm absolutely a different person right now, and I am grateful. People who went through this, traumatic experience of life falling apart, and they made a decision not to be a victim, but to be a winner in the situation. They describing the crisis exactly like this. But what does it mean? Why all of them, or let's say most of them, most of my clients at least, why they're saying that it's been so hard, but I am grateful. I learned so much. I changed so much. I made those decisions that I was scared to make. I was pushed. Yeah? You see the connection now. When you're going through crisis is not a punishment. It's not a punishment from the world or yourself. It's an opportunity. It hurts, yes. It's not a pleasurable experience, but it's an opportunity. Which means that if you train your muscles of consciousness, and if you're able to live a conscious life, every time when you feel that, when you see that some parts of your life, or the whole world around you is just falling apart, you receive it as a signal. It means that I'm moving in the wrong direction. It might mean that I have to change. I have to change my strategy. I have to change myself. I have to adjust. I have to open my eyes, make decisions that I was postponing for a long time. I have to make a change. And if you're able to make this change during the crisis, as early as possible, you will go through this crisis super fast. Because the idea that you have to learn the lesson, you have to make a change. If you understood what's the lesson, if you understood what kind of change you need to make, and you did it, that's it. You won the game. As easy as that. So easy, so simple, but in the moment it's super hard to make, because it feels like naturally we just fallen into this nagging victim mode so easy that we're not even considering that everything happens for a reason. We're not even considering that everything happens for us, and that whatever I'm going through right now, in a year, 2, 3, or 5 from now, I will remember as the most unique, or I will remember as a very important part of my life that made me who I am right now. That pushed me to make a change. And that's exactly what I'm here right now, for example. So connecting dots backwards, it's not easy, but still it's a skill that many people obtained. But connecting the dots while you're in the dots, that's a talent. Not even a talent, that's a skill that you can train. That calls consciousness. That's something that I teach and preach and use and live by. And I really wish all of you to learn the skill. I really hope that this video you found helpful. Those 5 steps are easy and super complicated at the same time. It's easy if you want it to be easy. It's complicated if you're looking for a challenge. You decide how easy it's gonna be for you. But one thing I can tell you for sure, think about every financial crisis that happened in our world. Think about all those times when we felt like the world is falling apart. What is it was about? The COVID, the 2008, 13, and all of this. Every time when the world is falling apart, every time we're going through a crisis, afterwards we have the most blooming, we have the most fast growing time. Every time we open the world full of opportunities. Every time we have a new big players on the market. We have a new bright stars on the sky of our world. It means that crisis might be seen for some as the end of the world, and for others as a time of opportunities. And I do really hope that you are the second kind of person. Thank you for listening to this podcast, and I hope it was helpful for you. And I'm looking forward to tell you even more insights and even more information that I found interesting, and I would really like to share it with you as well. Thank you so much. Have an amazing week, an amazing day.